In today's video, we're going to be talking about home confinement procedures, and you'll hear it first person from someone who's been recently released from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Okay, everybody, I have a special guest with us, an unknown guest, but this gentleman recently released from BOP custody and was able to benefit from these early release procedures. So thanks for coming online and talking to me on the phone. Appreciate it, sir.
Not a problem whatsoever. Any way I can help.
So walk us through the last month of your journey in the institution. I know you had to have paperwork signed. The paperwork had to get routed. If you can, talk a little bit about that process and how long that took for you and kind of go through it categorically.
I was about the last week of March, first week of April, right in there. I was called into my case manager's office and was told that I was qualified and was getting, they had the paperwork ready for me to sign to be released to home confinement, which obviously was a happy day. And my case manager had the paperwork filled out. She had me sign it. You know, it just listed a lot of things about home confinement. At that time, I wasn't able to get any copies of anything, but she told me that it next went to the unit manager and up the chain. About 6 weeks after that, during about 3 weeks later, she called me in again just to verify an address where I was going to be released. They do need to verify that and make sure, you know, that you have to have a phone and other things set up at that address. And another 3 weeks after that, I was called in and was very joyous day, to say the least, given my release date.
When was the home inspection from probation? How long ago did that take place before you got out?
Believe it or not, they never did a home inspection. What they did is the gentleman who I set the lease up with, they spoke to him 2 days before I came down here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You were to get out without that probation.
Yeah,
that's good.
I think they're doing so many now that really aren't as picky about it. To this day, I've been here now 2 weeks and they've not been here yet.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure at some point, you know, they will.
Right.
Anyhow, they gave me my release date, and I had 3 weeks to go. From when I found out to when I left. Obviously, it was an anxious 3 weeks. And today, in this world, you know, the day you release, you just go down to R&D.
Right.
You sign paperwork.
Now, how much time did they give your loved one to pick you up and give them notice to pick you up at the institution?
Well, the way they are set up right now is you're making a phone call once a week. So as soon as I signed the paperwork, I told them, you know, I qualify, I signed the paperwork, I should get the date in the next few weeks.
Okay.
So, and then when I got the date, I again informed them, and, you know, they had 3 weeks to prepare.
Okay.
Normally, your family is right near R&D to pick you up.
Okay.
Now they have them stay right near the gate.
Okay.
They don't want them coming on.
Right.
They don't want anybody coming onto the into the institution until, you know, with the COVID stuff.
Right. Right.
And so we, you know, I went down to R&D, walked around, got all my finer paperwork signed, and walked down with a few things I wanted to take with me. Got in the car and ran out the gate.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was a fairly easy process, as a matter of fact.
Now, was there a furlough, or you reported directly to the RRC that same day?
Well, they give you a furlough to get there,
right?
To get to the halfway house. Once, you know, interestingly, I spent about 2.5 hours at the halfway house when I got there. This is so new that they're really almost not prepared for it.
Right.
Most of the paperwork you're signing is for like you're going to be staying at the halfway house. But once you sign the paperwork and they approve it, you walk out the door and go straight to home confinement.
Okay.
They did give me an ankle bracelet.
Okay.
That, and that they, monitor everything with.
Now, I had another client on the East Coast got an ankle bracelet, and he was asking me, "Am I going to have to wear this thing till my release date several years from now?" I'm like, "Probably." Is that thing really cumbersome, or are you okay with that?
It looks like a small sunglass case,
if
you will.
Yeah.
It's probably 4.5 inches by 1.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch wide. So it's not something you're not going to notice. But there is some of the places, I guess, in the country have a newer technology.
Right.
So I guess it just depends on where they lease you to. Now, I will say with mine, there's even been some frustration in a good way from the halfway house, because it loses its signal sometimes. And, I wouldn't be surprised, your one client asked about it. I would be surprised at some point that if you're just not a problem child, they just say, we're going to get rid of this thing. Because, all of a sudden it'll lose itself. Or the company they hired that tracks you calls them and says, "Hey, we lost the signal for a few minutes."
So has it been pretty much phone monitoring, right? They call pretty constantly throughout the day to check on you?
Yeah, like last night they didn't call at all, in the middle of the night. A lot of times they do. But a couple times those calls in the middle of the night have been because they lost the signal on the tracking device.
Okay.
But like I said, they've not been here to the house. It's more they just call on the phone and literally say to me, doing a house check. And I say, "Have a great afternoon," and that's the end of the call.
Now, are you able to work or look for employment, or what?
Yeah, I spoke to one of the one of the gentlemen who's kind of in charge of jobs last week. And he said, "Oh yeah, I want you to get a job. I want you to be able to go to work."
Good.
So
I'm
in fact going for an interview tomorrow, my first interview, and I called him, set it up with him, told him what time I was going to leave and what time I'm going to come back. And he just basically said, "I call when I'm leaving the house here. I call when I arrive where I'm going, and then I call again when I'm leaving."
Okay. So are you allowed to travel in the same town? What's your geographic restriction on travel and stuff?
Right now, other than medical appointments at work, you're not allowed to go anywhere.
Okay, got you.
And that is simply because they're in a lockdown.
Right.
They're in lockdown because of the COVID.
Right.
So,
okay.
Normally, you can go to church, we can go to the store, or go, they give you some time each day to take care of necessities.
Right.
But right now, they're saying you need to get help from your family because we're in a lockdown.
All right. Well, that's great. How's it feel to be out of prison?
Unbelievable. Because of you guys, it's a blessing. And, as I've told you before, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a team effort, man. It was a team effort. What advice would you give family members to inmates that are still inside, if anything? You know what I mean? About going through this process, going through the waiting and, going through this process.
As I discussed with 4 or 5 gentlemen that I told to reach out to you, I said, the day we hired your company, I stopped talking. And I will unequivocally say, that the people who are in their offices every day, rattling their cage, the case manager, the unit manager, all those guys are still there.
Right.
And I looked at them and said, some of them just can't help themselves. But I told them without question, tell your family, everybody, hire these people and leave it alone. Let the system do it. Let them do their job.
Yeah.
Because you know it as well as I do. These people, are so overwhelmed right now. The case managers, the unit managers, because they're getting fired at from all angles, and all the inmates that are there are screaming why they should be the next one to leave.
Right.
And in my estimate, the way I feel, the squeaky wheel does not get the attention.
It might get you attention, but attention you don't want.
Well, you're going to go, in my personal opinion, and I will verify it by, as I told you, I had a good relationship with my counselor.
Right.
And, you want to have a quick case of going from the top of the list to the bottom of the list, cause them a lot of problems.
Right. I hear you. And,
so,
yeah, man. And so I applaud you for being patient. Because it's hard. You want to take matters, not you, but I know a lot of other guys in there want to take matters into their own hands. They want to go to the courts. And hey, you can always go to the courts, but if you don't qualify for compassionate release, the court ain't going to give it to you.
Well, first of all, when it comes to these facilities, everybody needs to check their ego at the gate. Because, many of us ran companies or did things and there's nothing you can do that's going to push them harder. Yeah. And as my conversations went with my better half, who, means the world to me and worked very hard, we were offered a free attorney by FAM. And I know she discussed this with, your team. She, and we referred to you guys always as the team. And, as you told her then, just let us do our jobs for a while. Yeah. Don't try to ruffle the feathers. Yeah. And she and I agreed on that. So, we did not get attorneys involved. And I'm not saying to somebody don't do it if that's their choice.
Sure. Everybody's a choice.
I don't believe any judge in the country is pushing to get people released. Right. I could be wrong, but that's just my feeling. Yeah,
if you qualify and qualify to the letter, then certainly that's the case. But usually, there's something there that precludes somebody from completely qualifying for compassionate release. And plus, you look at the infection rates at the institution, and there's so many different floating variables. Thanks again for your patience. Thank you, and we'll be talking to you soon. Sound good?
I look forward to it, and have a wonderful evening.
All right, man. Take care. Well, thanks for listening to the video today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call myself, Mr. Santana, or see us at our website, federalprisonauthority.com.